system decided one morning not to start up at all. I pressed on the start button. I'd get nothing except for a fan, and all of the accessories and lights turned on. Everything was working fine until one morning. I just turned it on, it cranked over a little bit and then died, and then I tried to crank it again and then it died. And then it didn't start ever again until like another few days. I thought it was a few things. I checked to see if the brake switch was bad, to see if the starter was bad, to see if the fuel pump was bad, to see if the transmission selector switch, which is the park neutral safety switch, was bad. All of those checked out okay. Actually went out and actually replaced, if you can see underneath there's a they call a crank position sensor. I thought that was out, so went and replaced that one. That was a pain in the butt to replace. While I was at it, I replaced the alternator. So I'm gonna take everything apart here, which I've already had to do. Took the cover here off. There's a cover here. So the fuel pressure sensor is located all the way in the back. I guess you gotta take off the intake plenum here to get to it. And some people say you can unplug it and plug it back in, which I did. That didn't help very much. The plug is actually right here. There is the plug right underneath there. If you look, it's right there. And then the sensor is sitting right here. Where is it? Oh, right here. This is the sensor itself. A little tiny thing, which I'd have to take this off to be able to, in order to get to it. I don't even know how. Some people say you have special tools to get to it. It's literally impossible because Lexus made a back plate right here. You can see it bolts up, and there's really no way to get to it unless you take the intake manifold off. So once I get the part in, I'll just unplug it and put it in, and we'll see if she cranks up. So last time, for me to be able to check the starter, which that's what I thought it was at first, this is the starter relay. You can jump the two wires that are in here. If you think that your starter relay is the issue, these two pins right here, the copper pins, if you jump those two in the box right here, you'll be able to test your starter to see if it starts. And when I did that, it just cranked, because that little sensor down, it shuts off the computer if it doesn't get that reference, which originally I thought that was on the crankshaft position sensor. This car right here has this button, which each time I stepped on the brakes would turn this light green, this little light in here, green, and that means that the brake switch was working. And then I also tested to see if when I threw it into neutral, would it do the same thing to test the neutral safety switch. And when I did that, green as well. I looked at all the fuses. This car has a fuse panel underneath there on the on the passenger side. And then there's one underneath here on the driver's side. And then you have this box. This is for the ABS system. And then that fuse box. And then there should be one in the back of the car as well, but I didn't really look into that. So all of the fuses checked out, everything checked out. You can test your fuel pump, relay, which is right here. That's about it. I think I've covered everything. If you ever have to take out the alternator, there is one bolt behind here. You really have to jack up the engine. You'll unbolt the the mounting bolts on the engine on both sides and jack it up. Otherwise you won't be able to get to it from here. There's literally no room whatsoever, if you can look right here, and it's tucked all the way back in there. So to do that, you really have to jack up the engine. I hope this helps you.